Radiant team ban.
It was Roger's thing. We might be seeing it still in the team, but we are jumping into game number 1. The bans, thankfully, are looking very different to our last series. We got Shadow Demon, Sand King, and the Coddle. Not good to see Coddle. We saw him first pick quite a lot yesterday.
Radiant team pick.
By Sand King. I don't like this anymore. I want to see more Sand King, not more Sand King bans.
Oh, okay. Well, the Death Prophet doesn't get banned, and it does get let through. Picked up by Execration.
So Ninja Boogie, when I looked at his game history, he's been playing heroes like Dawnbreaker, Techies, and some other standard stuff like Rubik and Lion. Okay, cool. We got
when you started with Dawnbreaker Techies, I was like, what?
Yeah, I mean,
we're in for some fun here, I guess.
I was kind of hoping for it, but it's like we get the most standard, boring thing I've ever seen in my life. I am Gyro. Wow.
DP doesn't get banned, so she gets picked up. I doesn't get banned, so he gets picked up.
Radiant team.
I'm wondering if these are the types of heroes that are going to get exchanged a lot in this patch, because obviously, remember last patch, it was every game was just have a Weaver. Have a Bane, have a Spirit Breaker, who's left over, you know, like have a Quab. Like it was just people just trading the most meta, and I don't think, obviously it's a new patch, so everyone's trying different ideas. It's nice to see which ones are being more favored. Right now it seems to be Death Prophet every game.
I'm actually intrigued. Look, not that we've had a lot of series, right, and there's a lot more to go. No Lena, ban or pick wise, I don't think yet. Maybe a ban, but she definitely hasn't been picked. And when I asked you guys yesterday, you're like, yeah, Lena's still viable.
I think she is.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe when T1 plays, because it's a big Lena player. I think that here is just a mid laner, and maybe the game is just too fast paced for Lena right now.
Okay.
But
Lena became first phase every game because Quap was in the meta, and Lena was like an answer to her. Because Quap is such like a lane dominator, and Lena is one of the only heroes that could stand against her. So it became like, yeah, we're gonna take Quap, and okay, we're gonna take Lena in response, and that was like just a thing.
Yeah.
But because no one's really first phasing Quap anymore, it's led to less Lenas just as a result.
The priority is no longer on her because of that.
Yeah.
Which is nice to see. We like to see a little bit of a change up.
Yeah. And I do think Lena's still like viable. However, the problem is the way that the stacks work now. You gain stacks by hitting like creeps and heroes or whatever with your spells. But if you want to do like smoke ganks with your team, obviously you don't have creep waves and stuff to get the stacks off. So by the time maybe the smoke breaks, you don't have the stacks anymore, and that feels kind of bad. Because whereas before you would just cast spells on the ground and you'd be able to upkeep them. So
just take all your spells. Go ahead.
Yes.
Smoke gank and have no spells up.
She's better. She's worse a little bit in that regard. So I wouldn't like super rate her really highly. I think the spirits are still like in a really good place, and of course Death Prophet, able to be played mid, and Dumpster's heroes like Ember and such in the mid lane. So I see her being way more valued.
With these picks, is there anything that you feel SMG might be wary of picking up when they start the second phase of picks, Gods?
They're going to at least want to get some amount of like damage to kill a Death Prophet quickly. Like again, one of the key things I feel like against this hero is when exorcism's used, you either need to commit hard and kill her before she can lifesteal through it with the Spirit Siphons, or you need to disengage. So I don't think Gyro alone like packs a big enough punch if carry Gyro is going to take 2-3 items before you come online. So just some way to kind of burst down Death Prophet's always going to be nice.
Oh, Bane.
That's another gap. They didn't have any, like Gyro IO, you're not looking at many stuns, so they get a second support that has all the stuns.
Do you think Lion potentially could have been a better pick there? Because it has the burst, has the stun?
I think they're both good. Last patch especially, people paired Bane and Lion with IO pretty much every game. You'd usually see one or the other because they both work to set up for the relocate. You would have them in like a side lane or something, and then they would find someone, catch them, and then the reload would come in, and that's kind of how that dynamic would operate.
Okay.
So that's what Bane offers the IO combo disc scheme. As well as being that catch you talked about.
One thing Bane has, Lion doesn't, is the save. Like you can make some nightmare plays with the save. Lion can't do that. Lion packs a bit more of a punch though. It has that burst potential with Finger. So just same idea, just slightly different in how they play out.
Yeah.
Thing is, they still have 3 more heroes to pick that could have that burst damage. So you don't need it all in one hero.
That's true. I like having ways to deal with BKB as well. obviously Grip goes through it. It's good lockdown for that. Love to see it. If this gyro is going, well, yeah, it is going carry. It can't play support. Maybe they throw it off lane. Like we've seen Raging Potato play weirder stuff in the off lane. They can put gyro there if they really want to.
Yeah. Okay, interesting.
But, yeah, assuming it's a carry, you know, you want to keep people in place for him to just go to town and click and kill and stuff. So I like Bane for that.
10 seconds remaining.
Oh,
This Mars.
Mars is a nice pick though.
5 seconds remaining.
Obviously, IO, when you're running a draft like that, it means that at least two heroes are sticking very close together. And Mars is very good at keeping the, you know, locking them down and killing them. You want some hero that can blink in and disrupt the supports and kill them, because they have two backline supports that don't want to be jumped. And
Radiant team back.
Mars gives you that, and they have a lot of damage to kill whoever is inside of the arena as well. Like a Death Prophet running through a fight with an Exorcism and everyone's just trapped in an arena, like you're dying. That's a lot of death. It's like similar to the way the Shrek functions with Mars.
10 seconds remaining.
Well, Hood Wink is hiding behind that Mars shield there.
Somewhere.
I promise she was actually picked. She is just hiding behind there. But...
They can't see that net.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. I forgot that we have something completely different. Now I feel like an idiot. I already felt like an idiot. There was a question and now you just made me forget it.
It's okay, I can give you a new point to talk about. I think
cool.
Queen of
Thank
Pain
you.
is a really great mid matchup to Death Prophet. They didn't show both supports on Execration. They showed an off lane potential carry, and then DP can flex either to 5 or mid here. I think they should put it 5 now because Queen of Pain's been shown. Queen just rips DP.
Okay. And so then what would you like to see that can stand the chance of it?
Time for Lina?
I was gonna say Lina!
Well, Lina! Hell yeah! And Lina's really nice in general. Because, like, when you have Mars Arena protecting you from, like, gyro flat cannon and stuff, you can really just, like, her range is so long, she's able to just output damage and, like, she can scale with these carries like gyro.
And even Tiny's like a frontline core as well, so, like, having some kind of Lina that just kind of sits back does feel pretty nice.
I wonder if is Puck banned? Because they banned DK. So maybe that's what they're saying that they want.
Well,
probably SMG ban one of those stuck over the lane.
Which one would you guys rather come up against?
10 seconds.
Messenger would probably rather play against Lina because Lina's killable. Puck is very annoying. They don't really have any... I think the Puck Quap matchup is fine and it's skill-based and stuff, but they do lack a lot of hard lockdown. Outside of Grip, they have no stuns.
Well, they banned the Bat Rider instead, and is that something that you would predict them to ban?
Dire team pick.
Don't really know the Bat matchup against Core. Real?
Puck is picked up, like you guys said.
Choose your hero.
Ooh, that's right. So they get that kind of secondary IO partner to maybe play with the IO kind of in the early to mid game. Then we can have that kind of gyro kind of take over later on. But this is a Moon classic. He loves playing the mid-less Shrek. They're going all over the place with these roles. Mid one's playing Quap, Raging Potato's playing gyro.
This is what I'm saying.
Right.
This team, Raging Potato takes anything, man.
Hell yeah.
He's like, just pick stuff you feel like you like, and if it turns out to not be good, I'll take it. Meepo offlane, I'm sure we'll see that at some point in the season with the way this man goes. He'll take it
Well,
all.
look, they got what they liked, but two things I like is Mike and John, and they're going to be joining us yet again. And Mike, look, I saw you guys having a little bit of a tiff on Twitter over there, but I want to check in. Are you guys okay? You guys okay? Love is squirrel.
We're not okay. No, we're not okay, John. We're not okay. Fog's trying to get in the middle of this duo of ours, and I've recently found out John has been disloyal. He's been seeing someone behind my back, so I'm pretty upset. And I'd like to challenge Fog officially to a mud wrestling match to decide who does get John X5. So
mud wrestling
Fog
match?
is out there watching mud wrestling. Absolutely, get some mud wrestling going between me and Fog to
I'd pay for that.
get John X5.
There is going to be a paywall, but it will happen. You know, we're looking forward to that. But something else we're looking forward to is hearing your thoughts and opinions on these draft. If you want to start, Mike.
Yeah, I don't know about this Raging Potato offlane gyro. You know, I've seen some really weird picks from Raging Potato. Couldn't help but notice at the end of the draft he just started running off, so I assume he's already stressed. Just needs a quick cigarette before the game gets started. Yeah, I don't know about this. I feel like Execration's just outright got the better draft in this one.
Love it.
Yeah, I'm in agreement. I think we have a tendency to underestimate Execration as well. This is a team that beat Polaris in BTS Pro Series. They took a game off T1. I think they can do it up against SMG, and SMG, Ninja Bogey's not in Malaysia yet, so that's going to be a factor for them integrating here as well.
Quickly, one team. Who do you guys think is going to get the first tower?
Leshrac.
What?
SMG.
Okay.
I'll go SMG as well.
Alrighty, well, I'll leave that question to you guys as well, Mike and John, as we head into game 1 between SMG and Execration.
Thank you very much, man. It is an LP Dota, and I don't even know what to say to you, John Xfire. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. This is an exciting one. You know, I think we didn't get to see much of the new SMG, right? We saw a little of them in Pro Series. Unfortunately, you know, mid one was a bit sick, and Ninja Bogey was having internet issues. We saw him again today. He's in the shop, so that's telling us something there. I'm keen to see if SMG can pull off the same performances from season 1, Tour 1, but I think Execration's just not a team you look down on. Because you've got Palos back in Execration, you've got Tino. Last time before Boom, he was playing a great offlane for Execration. So I think this is really comfy for Tino, and this is a team that I think everyone's going to have to watch out for. This is one of the dark horses. If you can beat Polaris 2-1, then you've got something going for you here.
30 seconds.
Certainly so. I mean, it's a big game for both these teams, Jonathan. I think it's going to be a pretty hype matchup. I mean, this one should be very, very close between these two. Because I did go the way of Execration's draft, John. I don't remember or recall you really going into detail. Do you agree with this offlane gyro?
No, I think Raging has a bit too much fun in choosing his offlane. Now, mind you, it's IO plus gyro, so you can go magical gyro offlane with spell amp. It sounds devastating, but you tried Jakiro last time, that didn't work.
Here we go, Raging in trouble. It's off to a pretty bad start for him, as he is going to have the treetops thrown at him, and eventually they are going to be able to secure first blood for Bob here on this pot. You couldn't have asked for a better start for Execration.
Oh yeah, I mean, giving that gold onto Bob, and we talk about this every single time on Bob's teams, he's either Bob the Builder or Bob the Wrecker, right? And you give him a start like that, allow him to just build up, get the early bottle, control runes really fast, and as we've heard in the panel as well, rune control is really important for both these lists. Moon and Bob will want to set the pacing for both sides. It is still a pretty strong lane for Moon. Bob can dodge once he does have the phase shift, but the wave clear of Leshrac feels a lot better, so I can expect Moon to get that CS going a lot easier. Still, if the rotations do come in from Execration, they should be able to stabilize Bob's lane down line, especially at the 4 and 6 minute mark.
He's taking a hell of a lot of damage here on this Bane, and those things against the Hoodwink Mars combo, it's a very devastating kind of combo to have to go against. Naturally, you can mess up some trees here and there, but I think if you have a nice bushwhack here from Shanks, Spear is very, very easily allocated to Ninja Boogie from Tino. But we should talk about that bot lane as well, though. Raging and Arthur against Vincenzo and Palos. You talked about this magic gyro build, Jonathan. Do you actually think that's the way we're going?
I'd say so. I don't see any other way of playing a really fast gyrocopter from the off, other than amping up your magic damage. Go for an aggressive rocket barrage missile build that we're seeing out from Raging. No overcharge yet. If you did have the overcharge, you might be able to rip through Palas a lot faster. And you just kind of play this way. Play with a sustain, play with a burst damage that eventually comes up. I think it's just a matter of patience. Now, one issue here is that you've got a big playmaker like Afu on the Eye. We saw that with Hyde as well when we saw Talon earlier. So it looks like, you know, even if you're a more active sort of 4, you can adjust a very aggressive IO, but you still need to see that from Afu. We're much more used to his Shakers and Earth Spirits, as the panel pointed out.
Oh, absolutely. Bit of farming to go on here for the spot lane. Top lane, it feels like that's where all the action may happen, though. For now, they are going to have to wait for some levels to come up before they do get too active. Mid one Quap as well, John. It's something the panel was a bit shocked to see, and there's a lot of switches with the positions here of these heroes. We have seen mid one play some Quap, though, and Pos 1 Quap has been a bit more popular. How do you feel about that?
It holds steady in this lane. You know, you're not going to be pressured too hard by Mars. You've always got the Blink to play with down the line. Midwin's just pocketing his level 1. You have a really good defensive support in that Bane for Ninja Bogey. The scaling's really the one thing that is a bit different, and there's so many ways to go with the rework to Orchid, and the changes to Null kind of make it a little weirder to burst heroes down, like Puck and Quap are probably the two heroes that hate the Null change. They don't really have mana issues, they really like that spell amp, so you're not going to have that overwhelming start on the Quap, a little bit harder to clear out lanes, and I think that's just going to impact mid one a little bit more. It makes flash farming a little bit more painful. I'm really just interested to see what he goes for. Orchid is, again, amps up the right click damage a little bit, but you miss out on all the int you used to get. Oh, mid one.
Bit of trouble here, mid one. Gonna get salved up there by Ninja Boogie, and he's gonna be able to survive for now. Day is saved here for the Quap, but things are getting rather aggressive here from Execration, and it just goes back to the offlane duo. It's just a very potent kind of duo. If you do get caught out, plenty of damage, plenty of control. Still, no first, well, there has been a first blood drawn, John, but no kill after that. Mid lane, though, Moon's getting very low here thanks to Bob, and Bob might go for a dive. Waning Rift is down, Orb is going to connect, Moon, he is going to go down. Bob finding a solo kill on the Puck. That's another, I don't want to say great start, John. They've already had a great start, but that's a great follow-up to the great start.
Yeah, and it's not something you necessarily expect. We talked about it, but it feels like the Leshrac should be able to just play it safe, clear out the creep wave, just dodge the Puck spells if you have vision, and keep a farming game up. You know, you can't really harass out the Puck. Bob sees that opportunity, jump in, and just gets work done. So you've already got that snowball start from mid, and we've heard, especially in Execration side, the emphasis is on keeping Moon down. Bob's certainly getting that job done for them.
Yeah, certainly so. Things will slow down just a little bit. Playing very, very dangerous. And you see, they just don't feel safe. Like mid one, while he's finding the CS, he understands how much danger he can be in at any moment. Ninja Boogie just trying to frontline for him and buy him that space. Bot lane. Raging Potato went for a bit of a dive here with Arfu, but it looks like they are going to be just fine as Vincenzo does zone them out away from Palos. Again, you can get so much damage off with that Rocket Barrage if you get close enough, so it's like Raging trying to get a little bit cheeky there on the gyro, just trying to get aggressive as possible, and I suppose with this kind of offlane gyrocopter pick, you've got to make it worth as much as possible early on, because later on it may not transition. But speaking of the devil, Vincenzo, he'll move in again onto Raging Potato, bit of damage up, but nothing to write home about.
Sees that opportunity with Afu TPing mid just to get a little bit more regen for Moon. We are seeing that emphasis now to recover that lane, although up top...
Shanks trying to get aggressive. Ninja Boogie, though, will have the Nightmare and he'll be just fine. Like Tino did not have the Spear off cooldown to throw out, so he'll have to let the Bane go. So won't bother wasting his time to try and fight this one out. Pops the mid one, top of the CS board in that Quap, and as dangerous as this duo can be, he has done pretty well in controlling them. Still finding that farm he needs in the POS 1 Quap. Everything's still going quite smoothly for SMG, even though they did have a bit of a bad start. Well, Hafu and Vincenzo are going to kind of fight over these stacks. Hafu will be able to get it off, and now they're on through the Puck, but Bob is still very healthy. They aren't going to really be able to go ahead and finish that one off. Bob's going to fight for Haystrewn and... Oh, Shanks. No, he's not going to be able to try and save him. In fact, Ninja Boogie is going to get taken down, trying to secure that power rune, but now Moon will move in and take Shanks' life. So 1 for 1. Both mid lanes taking one kill for their own, but you do find the haste rune goes the way of Bob.
And just the power runes are so important, especially for Moon to look for those side lane rotations. He's just held in mid. He has to have Afu around to help recover the lane. They're dragging Ninja Boogie as well for bottle refill, so your side lanes are pretty exposed, which works out for our Quaps. You know, mid one's still not under pressure, but you can expect Raging to be in the spot to cover this pressure.
Palos going to move in. Avalanche cost should be there. Back into Shanks, into the full flash mid-air. Raging is still dropping. So there's your Io to save the day off. Going to buy a bit of time here for Raging Potato, and that's going to be enough. Io just proving to be so powerful, even without any regen going. Raging Potato going to be able to go to the fountain and get himself a reset.
Managed to save the day, but that will leave a lot of space out for Palos. At least one free wave coming up for him. The Tiny has been a little bit behind the Quap, but not by much. And that's a scary prospect. Tiny scales a lot faster. The mid-game impact of a Quap with a couple of items does feel stronger in comparison to Tiny, who will need Echo Saber, Silver Edge Shard, lots more gold. Whereas a Quap could get away with maybe a Kaya-san much quicker. So we'll have to see if mid one can hit that item spike a lot faster and how active they want to be in this game. Because for sure, SMG's lineup lineup feels like it wants to be in control by 15 minutes, and as we heard mid 1, they just kind of want to run in and play some crazy Dota here.
Yeah. So, blind's been drawn out in the mid lane. I'm not sure what they're going to get done, but perhaps a bit of a group up here for SMG. Again, it's going to TP top because there is some trouble here for mid 1. Can you save the day though? Not tonight. Raging will turn around and try to go onto Tino, and they might find a decent frame for themselves. Tino takes the damage. He's going to drop the arena, but does eventually go down. Too much now as Bob. He's forced to just orb himself out of there, but Moon's on the chase. In fact, a bit of a juke here from Bob going back towards the north, trying to avoid going into that left track as Moon is still on the chase. Heavy missile is going to fly out onto Bob, but he will orb further towards the east. But now mid-one's here. Do you have the damage output? I don't think so.
Dire's bottom tower
Bob
is
with the
under
quick
attack.
TP will make it out. Still, I suppose that was a decent team fight for Execration, considering they do find the pause 1 of SMG.
Radiant structures
Find a pause
are
one to drag 5 heroes top there, right? So bot lane still completely free for Palos. They can try to transition to a push. They're checking for some stacks. Moon's not even going to stay around for that, although his TP gets cancelled. Could be benefit. Please clear out A camp. But I love that forced movement out from Execration. They're just making SMG play this way.
Moon gonna man up a little bit there, but does eventually back off. I love the little tumblers toy he's got as well for himself. Just another kind of perfect item here for the left track. A little bounce plus the extra mana pool always feels very nice for a hero like this. Though, I mean, you look at that net worth lead here for Execration, John. Just 1k, but 2 cores on the top of the net worth board, and that will be Bob. And of course Tino, or rather Palos, excuse me. Could get a little bit scary as time goes on, John. It doesn't feel like SMG have the kind of draft that can scale into a tiny later on. When I say that, Raging. I mean, Missile will be there, into the call down, and the resource change. They might have Palos, but he gets the avalanche all the time. It just won't matter. He is going to go down, and now Vincenzo to be at the second. He'll get rushed down here by Moon, and they'll find a secondary hero. And Shanks, all he can do is hide in the tree line. Trying on to Raging. Bob's shown up. Looks like he does not connect, however. Nothing goes right here for the side of Execration down to the bot lane. Everyone's just fine.
And armor doesn't have that much magic resist without the item buildup, especially without the BKB. So we need to see SMG just rinse and repeat, constantly play around with that when they do have relocate up, and still build that steady farm up for mid one. He is going for the Orchid buildup, so again, more ways to control the side of Execration if they're not ready. For the side of Execration, it's a matter of patience here. Echo Saber still has to come out from Palos, build up into Silver Edge, build up into Ag Shard, and their lineup is slightly slower because of that. Most of their momentum will have to come through from Bob and Tino here.
A little bit cheeky here with this fan. Orb away again. And the homing missile, he's going to follow him down, but he's going to phase shift that one off. MG not looking to rush anything right now, just again securing that farm, getting that XP up. You can always relocate with Moon and Arfu, so you're not too concerned about trying to force anything right now, but rather hoping Execration tries to force something. Look at either though. We'll sit back and relax for a bit. Again, the pressure has been mostly applied to the mid lane here from SMG as they really want that tier 1 mid tower if they can. They have a left track after all, but Execration constantly keeping a few heroes around just to make sure it does remain safe. And now with this timing of the Echo Saber on Palos, maybe he can start to get involved a little bit with this team.
You could. I think you still ideally just farm. You don't really have burst damage with level 1 toss left in. Your priority is still on farming as this hero in comparison to a Pop who wants to run a Ninja Boogie.
Tracks off the mark. There's the beast strip out, but they've got the silence to make sure he cannot continue. Still, the cavalry is incoming. Here from SMG as the relocate is out from Moon and Arfu. Meanwhile, Tino, he actually got mid-one. Mid-one has got still on the side of SMG, watching Palos and Vincenzo, and it's so much damage flying out from Raging Potato. Still, they will continue to try and chase them down. Back down, Execration to turnaround. Take down Ninja Boogie. Raging Potato, he'll be the third target to drop. And it seems as though Alfa and Moon just left the building. They went into the mid-tier 1 tower instead, and they'll be able to take that.
Radiant's middle tower is falling.
Find something for the trouble. Issue is you still have the Dream Coil from Bob, so they can still choose to re-engage, but that is a big objective to take. That will allow SMG to invade that jungle a bit, to contest the triangle farm the Palace wants to find. And as you mentioned, Mike, you know, you have the Lesh, you want to take those objectives fast. They take the big one early. Execration can't really commit for a push yet, especially since they don't have Exo up under Senzo. So their push progress is a lot slower. Moon just changes lanes, finds another tier 1 bot, no defense coming out from Execration. And in a way, they're also buying out space for mid 1, although you did die top. I mean, you are still getting that build up. Most of your resources are getting poured out onto Moon, which makes sense. He will snowball you for the first 15 to 20 minutes of the game, maybe up to 25, 30. But again, there's a bit of a timer there. So I think for SMG, you have to keep that pace up. Be careful about the overextensions, because if you feed a Tiny up, you've seen it for a long time now, Mike. Late game Tiny, EHP is ridiculous. You don't have the physical damage in this lineup to deal with it. You might have the magical damage, but that doesn't scale as well.
I do appreciate the moves we've been seeing from Alpha and Moon, by the way, John. I mean, I know I'm going back to that previous fight again, but the relocate, it felt kind of weird at the time, but he's been able to clear out both the mid and bottom tier 1 towers, so maybe recognizing the team fight was never just going to go their way. Just going after those objectives that are more important, quite frankly, for SMG, and you gotta appreciate that decision making in the heat of the moment.
Tower is under attack.
Moon currently top of the net worth for this smash track and doing a great job of it. Just continue clearing out waves across the map.
Tower is under attack.
Patient. Just sitting back, relaxing, allowing Palos that time. Silver Edge, or rather Shadowblade, will be coming out very soon for this time, so that might be around that time if you want to get moving, but he's even got never mind that no top lane. Onto the Mars, Moon will move in, and that'll be Tino's life gone. And that should be another 2-1 tower to drop here thanks to Moon on the left track.
Radiant structures
just play with a push, hit and run, name the game here for SMG. Execration can't really force a fight back without that arena. They find the right target they need, and there's still pressuring around the map.
For a bit more here down a bot lane, but just smashing the top lane as well. Everywhere he's got a little bit of action now. Ninja Boogie has tried to move in with a Nightmare. Dream Coil is out from bot to lock down the Gyrocopter, but you're still going to lose Vincenzo. At the very least, they do get Ninja Boogie as a trade. Raging, he doesn't want to keep going, he needs to ride. Jax is here with the first whack, but a Sonic Wave is out, but it won't help. It won't help too much. It's now mid-one. He's been silenced up, and there's Tino with the Ring of Spirit up and Moon. He's coming from the side, but is he a bit too late? It does seem like it. Execration might be able to clean up here as Moon. He's just going to try and back off here with Arfu, and he does. So let them run. But Execration, they end up coming out on top once again for this team fight.
I appreciate that discipline from Execration to back off as well. I mean, it's an IO Lesh. There's a lot of regen, a lot of damage that Afu can use on Moon to enable him. And they play really safe, which is fair. We've seen that Lesh Raptor overtake before. I think Execration understands. They just need to be a bit patient this game.
Oh, nice save there from Afu. Ninja Boogie. The homing missile gonna land from Raging Potato. And some very nice synergy there from SMG. Allowing the homing missile to guaranteed connect there thanks to the Nightmare. That's a massive kill onto Bob.
That's the momentum setter they needed to kill off, with preventing that build-up on the puck. He wants to be super slippery this game. You know, he's trying to go for that Blink Dagger. He already has Witchblade. We talked about the scaling potential for both sides a bit, but I feel like Puck has a lot more scaling in now. I mean, we've seen it in Pro Series, I think, Mike, where Revenant's Brooch plus E-Blade is pretty ridiculous for Puck. So that is something you could look for down the line for Bob, but of course they've got to survive and Vincenzo.
Yeah, nice speed grip here from Ninja Boogie. Catching out the DP. But Vincenzo, no, he won't be able to survive. But Tino was trying to help out. Merv now needs a way out. Looks like it's there, but a nice relocate again from Alfa. The SMG will be able to mitigate the scene, though Bob is still going to keep moving and does have a Dream Coil available. Won't bother throwing it out. Instead, they'll just try to focus down after. They'll at least be able to find themselves an IO kill.
Yep, not the biggest kill. Good save coming out from Afu to ensure their win conditions stay alive.
Radiant's
just
bottom
saved.
tower.
But it doesn't feel like they've got enough burst damage to really deal with side of Execration at the moment without me. So SMG still in a really good spot in this game, ahead in objectives, and if they keep punishing Bob, I think that's how you kind of reel in that momentum. You do still have to worry about Hallo finding farm. He's the number 2 core right now, right behind Alesh, exactly in the spot where you want that time to be. He's got the shard up. He is going for a blink this game, so I think he realizes some gap close is necessary to follow through with the puck and the Mars coming in. But this time he's just getting bigger and bigger. Again, towards the late game, grow level 3, Shadow Blade into Silver Edge down the line. I don't know if you're going to have enough magical burst on hand, even with Alesh into the late game.
Bot lane. Raging Potato just currently right next to Shanks. They don't know yet. Now you should see him starting to sold out at the Rock of Barrage. It's a very painful experience for Shanks. He's still being chased down. Shanks takes the stun. He doesn't take his time. He's going to tie to the Rock of Barrage. They do find Raging Potato, but now Tino. He's been trapped up and completely surrounded. They won't even need the stun. Moon will take him down. The 2-for-1 trade is the favor of SMG. Top lane as well. Relocate is coming as Ninja Boogie. He needs some help. Vincenzo still going. Ninja, though, he is not going to die. Quick rotations from SMG will mean they are able to help their support claim another life. Moon, he will head down bot once again with Arfu. They'll keep the pressure going.
I think that's here too at the top.
Well, there, he'll snap it straight away. He's fine for now, but Palos will come in with a big avalanche. He swings with that tree, and Learn, he should drop here surely, and he does. Arfu could not keep him alive this time, and it seems like he is set to fall himself, though a nice tether away. Onto Raging. I mean, he will make it out, but they just got a huge target in the left right.
That's massive. That's such a big kill to give away. Onto Palos of all people, so Tiny's really just going to be scaling up from this point, and the network gap between them is negligible at 900 gold as well. So for SMG, it feels like one of those things that we saw in the Talon game, right? Once you see Relocate committed, that gives you a massive opening on the side of Execration. Knowing the save is gone, you can fully commit to that one big core. So they are keeping that bot lane shoved in. We are seeing Shanks again being chased by the shard missile, and he will take the stun this time. You can see how much damage that is. You don't just run away from it, man. You gotta just take it because the rocket barrage is painful.
Here we go again. Vincenzo's going to experience it now. Runs is right behind him. You've got to take the stun eventually. Austin trying to help out Tina. He's in, but he's not connected to the Spirit. Now the phase grip is there from Ninja Boogie. Good to pick up another. That might be a tier 2 mid tower to come, John, as they've got a siege creep as well as a creep wave and diabolic edict there from Moon. It's not too hard to take out this tier 2.
Not the most difficult target. They are down to grip. Bob could try to play in and out if he wants to. They're trying to stall out as much as possible in Execration, but they don't have the bodies here for the defense. They're just trying to get farm where they can. Palos has all the room up top to get that done. And as long as the TPs come in, he should be fine now.
Palos will be a huge target, but the TP away is not going to be there. Ninja Boogie, he's in range for the Nightmare, and you can thank the Keen Optic for that one, John. Ninja Boogie getting a little bit lucky with that neutral item. Relocate back. Moon's going to try and protect Arfu. Zaz was there. Arfu still surviving, still alive, still running away. The tether's out at mid one. He gets a double kill with the Sonic Wave. And somehow Arfu is still breathing. He'll be back into the tier 2 tower now, but mid one, he wants the kills. He'll leave Tino B. He'll go after the tier 2 tower. And they've got it. No problems here for SMG.
Really good jump in coming out from mid one. Using that Orchid really well. He managed to lock in Bob and just get the damage off. So no defensive item stuff on our puck. It's a really hard game to play up against the silences and all the control SMG can try to stack up. For Execration, I think the key thing now is to try to find a farm. You have faith in your Tiny onto the late game. Just build up onto that Shadow Blade, get the BKB, go into the Silver Edge, and try to just be patient. They will go for the smoke play now, I think, realizing that, you know, no Sonic Wave, no burst damage on hand. They could maybe find some punishment here. Just see if they find the angle. They do have a good ward. Ninja Boogie does take it out, but that gives them a general idea as to where everyone's at.
Take over. Through the dire jungle is seemingly the path here that Execration intend to take. Mid one, he'd be a great target if they could get him. But he's got Ninja Boogie around to help him out just in case. A big group up here from SMG means it's probably not going to be an easy fight for Execration. In fact, there might be a counter smoke to come. Execration, they'll find nothing.
Really good scan out coming up from SMG right as they enter that ramp area on that upper jungle. Managed to dodge out. Execration just basically use that smoke for nothing. They don't even regain vision. So it's not the best feeling in the world for them. 3k lead for SMG is pretty good. It's not the widest at this point. And the more important part is all the towers they've taken. They've cleared out mid. They've put bot under constant pressure. We've got to see Execration maybe take a tier 2 tower if they want to think about Roshan, right? Like, you take a tier 2, you take outpost. Roshan's a much easier path for your lineup. You can clear it pretty fast with your tiny. You just need to control the map, and they're not finding that opportunity. We're seeing the plump up top here, Mike. They will have Exorcism up in 10 seconds, so they could try to force a fight into a push.
He's around.
Radiant's bottom tower
Probably wouldn't be
is
too
under
bad of a
attack.
kill here. They're not going to see him yet, but he does go underneath the observer ward now, so they know he's around there somewhere. Execration, they'll try to force the fight underneath their own vision, and in they go. Tino, he's down with the speed. It's a great target. Ninja on the base. I know the nightmare. Don't save his life. He will survive a little bit longer. They finally take him out, but what's it going to cost? Execration have already lost 2.
Dire's top tower.
They do at least get the top T2 tower, but Palos is being caught out now. Mid one and Raging find him and they take him down. I don't know about these trades, John. Execration, I think they're getting a bit too much away here to SMG.
They definitely are. They're forcing these fights really hard. Their DP doesn't have any way of saving, nothing like the units to just stay alive a little bit longer to try to use that Exorcism. With its kills, SMG versus conversion themselves. They lose your tier 2, but it doesn't matter when you find big kills. So first Aegis will go their way. They're gonna have some issues now and killing off mid one. The gap between Moon and Palos is getting a lot bigger than you'd want it to be. Like, the progression has stalled out because of all the deaths Palos has had. And SMG is just maintaining this momentum they've had from the laning phase. They're using their early burst damage really well. And the side of Execration have just been really trying to force some fights, but not finding the targets they want. They have to really take care of Afu first. All of that sustain, all of the spell amp coming out from the IO with this lineup is doing too much work, especially on the left side. But he's just being so well protected. Afu's position has been really good in all fights where it matters. And it's just a double time effort for Bob and his team to try to catch that
Radiant's
back.
top tower is falling.
That. Oh, Fiend's Grip is there. Ninja Boogie, he was very patient with that, and immediately, as he sees the Tiny, he moves in with the Fiend's Grip. Palos, he could still survive this, but it doesn't seem likely. He has nothing like a BKB to protect him. Ninja Boogie, he might die, but this will be well worth it for his life. Finding that position 1 Tiny once again. That's really quite a nice play from the Bane now, as SMG moving up towards the top side are even going to find Shanks, it seems, as the Split Earth is going to land, and they'll find another. Fu to take that one. It's all across the map. This Leshrac IO, it's just been so impactful.
They've done a lot of work, just getting the rotations off. Again, reminiscent of what Talon was doing, finding one hero out, put his support immediately getting in after the stun's committed and just killing them off. There's nothing to protect here on Execration, even if he had a +1 on Palos. There's not much a DP or a hood can really do to help you out. So SMG is just realizing what way they have to play. Maybe going back to that point from Mid1 himself. He said they needed, people to guide them through that jungle where everyone is acting like a bunch of just monkey Dota. And they've got 2 guides now with Raging and Ninja Boogie. So, it's working out for them so far up against Execration. Execration, I think, are getting a bit hasty there, Mike. They've got to reel it in. With safety. Just wait for the farm to come in and have faith in Tiny.
Easiest kill of his life, Mid1 just taking up Vincenzo. All that right-click damage he does have, and SMG, I mean, they're confident, John. They've got that Aegis up for another 3 minutes here on Moon. They're going to go high ground. Top tier 3 tower is under siege now. They will try to delay this as much as possible. Moon, so much damage. Tino's going to make the jump in. Where's the follow-up? It's not there. Tino now the one in trouble, and he is going to drop. He's got by buyback, but he doesn't really want to commit it like this. Oh, that's a very risky play out from the puck. Go all the way, mid one, gets the silence off though. He was just within range, and that might mean the puck can drop. The use is there. Moon, he will make sure he can't blink away. The orb is out, still trying to juke out Bob. He's actually blinked towards the south. Somehow he's made it. He has made it out, at least for now, but Ninja Boogie's making his way from the east to try and catch him out on this vein. He's got the 8th lens keen optic, but he's not going to make it. Bob,
Dire's bottom tower
he made it out,
is
John.
under attack.
He didn't quite get the creep
Radiant's
wave, but he has
top
made it
tower
back
is
to the
under
house,
attack.
the fountain.
He's doing the best he can. They just didn't stall. They managed to stall for what he's spawn on Tino. They've got Arena. The tower falls, but they can't
Radiant's
force the
top
fight now.
barracks are under attack.
How silly is this shot? It's just so
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's top barracks.
A rocket fire. I'm just still firing rockets. Yeah, it's. I know. Where does it store the additional missiles in that rocket? You know, like there's propellant, there's the rocket engine itself, there's the payload. There's no room for more rockets. It doesn't make sense.
Behold!
Funniest part is as well, they were using that nightmare to set up earlier for the homing missile drop, but the homing missile now wakes them up from the nightmare thanks to those rockets. So, well, there you go. A little bit, counterproductive, but still working out very well for SMG. Is now Vincenzo going to have to comp it once again. Tier 3 mid tower under siege as SMG just still have no fears with that Age of Palos able to bring the cross back to the there now, so he cannot follow up on the avalanche. Totino, no, he's going to miss the arena. Get off the mark. At the very least, they do save their second lane of barracks, but it does feel like SMG were about to leave anyway.
And they managed to get good timing there in SMG to back off. They still have a little bit of time in that Aegis. It is about to expire. Good reset though for Moon to have more mana. It's cautious. Palos has to protect himself. As long as Ninja Bogey's around, that shouldn't be an issue, but if he finds a good angle, it's going to open up the game for Execration.
Dust it up, Racing getting a little bit excited, I think. The cooldown is there. Are they really going to go through the time? Moon's blinked in. He's going all the way with the BKB up at Palos. He's got his own BKB this time. He will not die to the left track, but they have forced out a BKB usage from this Tiny. And now, maybe they can just go after this mid-rax once again. But I don't think Execration can actually fight this. No, could you go for Mega Crit? Maybe they could, the bomb. He'll be moving in with the Dream Coil, trying to go after Moon with the Nightmare. Here's them the Tiny. Meanwhile, Pino does not land a speed. Moon is still off Vincenzo. On the Palos they go. And without that magic community, there is no chance of survival and no buyback either. The Ninja Boogie is somehow still alive and they get Bob. Not yet. Bob hanging on by a thread, somehow still duking out. Here we go again, Bob with the great escape. Mid one. Oh, that's a nice flick out from mid one. Very nice indeed. Tips out from Ninja Boogie, and it's on to get the Megas.
Nothing to stop them now. You know, all the spells have been expended. For Execration, they try to hold out for Palos. The kid is just not big enough. He's severely behind the left, he's severely behind even the Quap, and call the GG. SMG, and they play as we expect SMG. Now, this is the direction that you're looking for. Looks like the Ninja will be on hand. They're going to get the move back into things as well. And it's good to see. Now, this is, as Deviano said, this is really like monkeys running around. It's just constant aggression. You know, it's like they're in the jungle. They see